On the morning of July 4th, 2025, a catastrophic landslide struck the mountainous region of Danba County in Sichuan province, China, leaving a trail of destruction and claiming dozens of lives. The disaster, triggered by days of torrential rainfall, has been described as one of the deadliest natural calamities to hit the region in recent decades. As rescue operations continue, the full extent of the tragedy is still unfolding, with hundreds of people reported missing and thousands displaced from their homes. The landslide occurred at approximately 10:15 a.m. local time in a remote area of Danba County, known for its steep terrain and fragile geological conditions. Witnesses reported hearing a deafening rumble as a massive section of the mountain gave way, sending rocks, mud, and debris cascading down into the valleys below. The force of the landslide destroyed several villages in its path, burying homes, roads, and infrastructure under layers of earth and rubble. Local authorities have attributed the disaster to prolonged heavy rainfall, which had saturated the soil and destabilized the mountainside. According to meteorological reports, the region had experienced unprecedented rainfall over the past week, with some areas receiving more than 300 millimeters of precipitation. This excessive rainfall, combined with the area's already vulnerable geology, created the perfect conditions for such a catastrophic event. The landslide has had a devastating impact on the local population. Initial reports indicate that at least 150 people have lost their lives, with hundreds more injured or missing. Among the victims are entire families who were unable to escape the sudden onslaught of mud and debris. Rescue teams have been working around the clock to search for survivors, but the challenging terrain and ongoing adverse weather conditions have hampered their efforts. In addition to the loss of life, the disaster has caused widespread destruction of property and infrastructure. Entire villages have been obliterated, leaving thousands of residents homeless. Roads and bridges have been washed away, cutting off access to affected areas and complicating rescue and relief operations. The local economy, which relies heavily on agriculture and tourism, has also been severely impacted, with farmlands destroyed and tourist sites rendered inaccessible. In the wake of the disaster, the Chinese government swiftly mobilized emergency response teams to assist with rescue and relief efforts. Hundreds of soldiers, firefighters, and medical personnel have been deployed to the affected areas, along with heavy machinery to clear debris and search for survivors. Helicopters have been used to airlift stranded residents and deliver essential supplies to remote villages that are otherwise unreachable. The government has also set up temporary shelters for displaced residents, providing food, water, and medical care. Relief organizations, both domestic and international, have rallied to support the affected communities, donating funds, supplies, and manpower to aid in the recovery process. However, the scale of the disaster has overwhelmed local resources, and there is an urgent need for additional assistance to address the immediate and long-term needs of the survivors. Danba County is located in a seismically active region with a history of landslides and other natural disasters. The area's steep slopes, combined with its complex geology, make it particularly susceptible to such events. Over the years, deforestation and unregulated construction have further exacerbated the risk of landslides, as the removal of vegetation and the alteration of natural drainage patterns have destabilized the soil. Climate change is also believed to have played a role in the disaster. Rising global temperatures have led to more frequent and intense rainfall events in many parts of the world, including Sichuan province. This increased rainfall, coupled with the region's fragile geology, has heightened the risk of landslides and other natural hazards. Experts warn that such disasters are likely to become more common in the future unless urgent action is taken to address the underlying causes. The landslide in Danba has raised important questions about disaster preparedness and mitigation in vulnerable regions. While the Chinese government has made significant strides in improving its disaster response capabilities in recent years, the sheer scale and unpredictability of such events continue to pose significant challenges. There is a pressing need for more robust early warning systems, better land use planning, and stricter enforcement of environmental regulations to reduce the risk of future disasters. In the short term, the focus will remain on rescue and relief efforts, as well as providing support to the affected communities. However, in the long term, there must be a concerted effort to address the root causes of such disasters and build more resilient communities. This will require not only government action, but also the involvement of local residents, businesses, and international organizations. Amidst the devastation, stories of survival and heroism have emerged, offering a glimmer of hope in the face of tragedy. One such story is that of 12-year-old Li Wei, who managed to escape the landslide by clinging to a tree as the mud and debris swept past his home. "I heard a loud noise, and then everything started shaking," Li recalled. "I grabbed onto the tree and held on tight. I didn't know if I would survive, but I didn't want to give up." Another survivor, 65-year-old Wang Mei, described the harrowing experience of being buried under rubble for hours before being rescued by a team of firefighters. "I thought it was the end," Wang said. "But then I heard voices, and I knew they were coming to save me. I'm so grateful to be alive." These stories of resilience and courage serve as a reminder of the strength and determination of the human spirit, even in the face of unimaginable adversity. As the community of Danba begins the long and difficult process of rebuilding, these stories will undoubtedly inspire hope and solidarity among the survivors. The road to recovery for Danba County will be long and arduous. In addition to the physical reconstruction of homes and infrastructure, there will be a need for psychological support for those who have lost loved ones or witnessed the destruction firsthand. The government has pledged to provide financial assistance to affected families and to implement measures to prevent future disasters. However, the recovery process will also require the collective effort of the entire community. Local residents will need to come together to support one another, share resources, and rebuild their lives. The international community can also play a crucial role by providing financial aid, technical expertise, and moral support to help Danba recover from this tragedy. The landslide in Danba serves as a stark reminder of the devastating power of nature and the importance of disaster preparedness. While it is impossible to prevent all natural disasters, there are steps that can be taken to mitigate their impact and reduce the risk to human life. These include investing in early warning systems, improving land use planning, and enforcing environmental regulations to protect vulnerable areas. Climate change is an additional factor that must be addressed. The increasing frequency and intensity of extreme weather events, such as heavy rainfall and landslides, are a direct result of global warming. To reduce the risk of future disasters, it is essential to take urgent action to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and transition to a more sustainable and resilient future. The landslide in Danba on July 4th, 2025, has left an indelible mark on the community and serves as a tragic reminder of the fragility of life and the power of nature. As rescue and relief efforts continue, the focus must also shift to long-term recovery and disaster prevention. By learning from this tragedy and taking proactive measures to address the underlying causes, we can help build a safer and more resilient future for all. The people of Danba have shown incredible strength and resilience in the face of adversity, and their stories of survival and courage will continue to inspire hope and solidarity in the days, months, and years to come. As the community begins the difficult process of rebuilding, they will need the support of the government, the international community, and each other to overcome the challenges ahead and emerge stronger than ever.